How did Rockefeller go from a poor child to bankrupting competitors, buying politicians, and taking over the country with Standard Oil? And what were his most devious tactics? Well, we can start with his core business philosophy. Rockefeller didn't believe in betting big on super risky ventures. He believed in taking stable ventures like oil refinement and consistently winning with a three-step strategy. Step 1 was cutting costs by negotiating better deals. For example, a major cost to his business was just transporting his oil on railroads, so to solve this problem, he struck a deal. He convinced the train company to charge him 70% less than his competitors. The train company agreed to it because he promised to ship at least 60 carloads of oil per day. That saved the train company money because it can now ship an entire train of just Rockefeller's oil instead of having to mix oil cars with other freight cars. Meaning the entire train now only had one destination to go to and didn't have to make a bunch of intermediate stops for other freight. And it simplified their worker logistics while giving them a guaranteed predictable source of revenue. This train company deal meant Rockefeller could sell his oil to customers at a much lower price than competitors. So everyone wanted to buy oil from him. And this alone already bankrupted some competitors, letting him take over their share of the market. But what about the competitors still standing? Well, that's where step 2 comes into play, which is bankrupting the remaining competitors using his much larger size. He can now price his oil so low that even he doesn't make a profit, which is fine because his competitors are certainly not making a profit. And he'd survive for longer than they would. Once his competitors were softened up and desperate, he moved into step 3, which was acquisition. He acquires his competitors at a massive discount because, in his words, if you don't sell your property, it will be valueless because we have advantages with the railroads. Using these 3 steps, he swept through Cleveland, almost bankrupted every oil company there, and acquired 22 out of 26 of them in just 3 months. Oh, and remember those train company deals? Yeah, he can now use this gigantic scale to have even more power over any individual train company. Because if he weren't willing to give Rockefeller the absolute best price, then he would just find another train company that would give him a lower one, making his oil even cheaper and feeding the cycle. And to be fair, he did make genuine efficiency improvements to oil refinement, which we still use today. He made the byproducts of oil refinement actually usable, including gasoline, while other competitors were just throwing it out. And he's the reason why American refineries today can refine sour oil, which is most of the oil that the United States imports. So how did he fall? Well, a journalist, Ida Tarbell, grew up watching her father's oil company get demolished by Standard Oil through unfair practices. This practically made it her mission to take Standard Oil down, and that she did. See, the public vaguely felt like something was off about Standard Oil, but she's the one who first connected the dots in a clear and easy to understand story that exposed all of Standard Oil's devious schemes. This went viral at the time, the public was outraged, and Teddy Roosevelt and the Supreme Court came in to clamp down on Rockefeller legally. The Supreme Court forced Standard Oil to break up into these smaller companies we know of today like ExxonMobil and Chevron. But ironically, this actually made him even richer, because when these smaller companies went on the stock market, everyone wanted to buy, and he owned a lot of the shares, so he became the first billionaire in America.